Welcome, Sunny Souls, to today's Reddit stories.
You want a meeting? Fine. Posted by PhantomFather88. I was looking for a digital signage company for work, and with one of the companies, the only way to get information was to create an account, which I did. I played with their demo and talked to the sales department and came to the conclusion they weren't a good fit based on their offering and the fact they marked up their media playing device talks while telling me there wasn't any discount for 20 because they sell them at cost. When you can look up the retail cost of a streaming device online, you really shouldn't lie. In any case, I went with a different company very happy with, by the way. I closed my account, unsubscribed and told them I'm not interested. But every 2 or 3 weeks, I'd get an email from sales telling me about the product and wanting to set up a Zoom call to discuss my project. I'd reply stop and click on the unsubscribe button at the bottom of their emails. But they still kept coming. I composed a separate email directed to the sender telling them I'm no longer interested and to remove me from the list, which went unanswered. Calling a very hard to find main number would only bring me to an answering service which promised to pass along my complaint. A couple times I even got a response promising me they'd take care of it. And yet, filing a complaint with whatever government agency is supposed to help with this kind of spamming doesn't do anything. After spending 20 minutes filling out their forms, it basically reads no direct action will happen because of this complaint, but if we receive a substantial amount we might look into it. But on the rare occasions I did speak to a live person for the company, I give them the filing number and told them I've asked multiple times to be removed. So after all that I resorted to my basic strategy, which if you've read my other posts you already know what's coming. I received another email from sales with the usual link to request more information. So I clicked it. I filled out the form with the exact same information they already had. I answered their questions about how many displays, 100 plus was the maximum, so I chose that. Project timeline immediate. Decision maker me, etc. I received a response within minutes wanting to set up a Zoom meeting with their sales team to discuss my project and what they could do to help and answer any questions I had. I accepted their offer and set up the meeting. Mind you, this is the same exact email I was sending my unsubscribe requests to. So the meeting finally came, and since it was a Zoom meeting I got to see their faces. I let them introduce themselves, ask my role in the company IT Dire, go through the sales pitches, company history, etc. When they finally got around to asking me what questions I had, I said, how do I get you to stop sending me emails? The look of confusion on their face was priceless, along with the stuttering and squirming as I explained my history of trying to get them to stop sending me sales emails. After which they promised to get me removed, which I'd heard before. So I warned them that I would do the same thing to every single email I receive. And if you stop falling for it with my current email, I will use different emails just to cause you more pain. Amazingly, I haven't received one email since that day. I'm batting 1000 with this technique. Here is my AI opinion. I think the company has a serious problem with their sales and marketing department. They are not respecting people's wishes to be removed from their email list, and they are not providing adequate support for their product. The fact that I had to resort to such tactics to get them to stop sending me emails is a clear indication of their inefficiency and lack of customer care. I also think that the government agency responsible for regulating spamming and protecting consumers should take action against this company. They are not only sending unsolicited emails, but they are also ignoring people's requests to be removed from their list. This is a clear violation of consumer protection laws, and it needs to be addressed. In any case, I'm glad that I was able to get them to stop sending me emails using my own technique. However, I would not recommend this approach to others, as it can be considered harassment and could potentially lead to legal consequences. Instead, I would suggest that people who are experiencing similar problems with this company should file a complaint with the appropriate government agency and seek legal advice if necessary. Have you ever had a similar experience with an unwanted sales email? How did you handle it? A comment from New-1258.
Phenomenal work. Well deserved on their part. Some salespeople can be so. Yeah.
A comment from Receipt-12.
I don't get how they think spamming you constantly when you clearly don't want their business would help them. If anything, it'll hurt them if word got out about who they are and how they handle business will deter future clients.
If you want to listen to the latest Reddit stories, subscribing is the way to go. Just click that button and you'll never miss a video.
Okay, it will ship today. Hosted by Upset Pachyderm. A friend of mine did this. When I was attacked at a calibration lab, we had a torque wrench arrive for calibration. Now, to do the job right, you must let the wrench sit in the lab until it has reached the same temperature as the lab and the calibration standards. It was winter, and the wrench was cold and heated shipping truck, warehouse, etc. So this wrench was put on the shelf to acclimate, which would take 24 minutes 48 hours. That afternoon, one of the salespeople told the torque tech that this wrench must ship today because it was a big customer and he wanted to make a good impression. The tech obviously said that it couldn't because it had to acclimate before being calibrated. This salesperson was a sort of irresistible force who thought that no one could or would ever stand in his way. He was also not supposed to be in the lab or in any way involved in production. He was also kind of an asshole. so the tech again explained that the wrench could not be calibrated until at least the next day. Otherwise the calibration would not be a good one, and we don't do it like that. That's when the salesperson exploded and flew his B/TCH flag high. We repeated several times that it must ship today. After the 10-minute tirade had ended, the tech just told him it will ship today. So the salesperson hopped back to the sales department, gratified that he'd got his way again. As soon as he was gone, the tech processed the order as a return as is and put it on the shipping cart. The wrench did indeed ship that day, without a calibration certificate. The customer was miffed. The subsequent investigation did not show the salesperson in a good light. He was officially reprimanded. Here is my AI opinion. I think this story is hilarious. I love how the tech just gave in to the salesperson's demands and then sabotaged him by processing the order as a return as is. It's like a little act of revenge, and it's so satisfying to see the salesperson get what's coming to him. I also appreciate the detail about the wrench being put on the shipping cart without a calibration certificate. That's just the cherry on top of the whole situation. Overall, this story made me laugh out loud, and I think it's a great example of how sometimes, even in a professional setting, you just have to stand up for what's right and not let someone else's BS get in the way. What do you think about the behavior of the salesperson? Do you think the tech made the right decision? W1987 commented,
You perfectly malicious. Leb's reputation remains unstained and the salesman sinks.
Coda Joan commented,
Ship along with the sales guy's reputation.
Late for work. Posted by L2750. I learned yesterday that I can only have 6 absences a year, no matter the reason doctor note or not, but I can have 14 tardies in the same year. Not consciously, I am running late this morning. I could have clocked in 1 minute 2 minutes late, but I get the same occurrence whether I'm 2 minutes late or 2 hours late. So here I am in my car reading and playing games for a little bit before I clock in. Why do policies encourage bad behavior? Here is my AI opinion. It sounds like you are feeling frustrated with the attendance policy at your workplace, which penalizes employees for being late or absent beyond a certain number of times per year. While it may seem unfair to have strict limits on absences and tardiness, these policies are often put in place to ensure that employees are meeting their responsibilities and providing adequate coverage for the organization. It's understandable that you might feel like the policy is encouraging bad behavior by penalizing employees for things that are outside of their control, such as traffic or public transportation issues. However, it's important to remember that these policies are put in place to ensure that the organization can function effectively and provide quality service to its customers or clients. One potential solution to this issue could be to speak with your supervisor or HR representative about the attendance policy and see if there is any flexibility or room for interpretation. For example, you might ask if there are any exceptions for circumstances beyond an employee's control, such as traffic delays or public transportation issues. Additionally, you could consider talking to your colleagues or other employees to see if they have experienced similar issues and if they have found any effective solutions. Overall, it's important to remember that attendance policies are put in place for a reason, and it's important to respect the rules and expectations of your workplace. However, it's also important to advocate for yourself and your needs, and to seek out solutions that can help you balance your work and personal responsibilities effectively. What is your experience with attendance policies at work or school? Have you ever had to deal with strict absence limits or tardy policies? How did you handle it? Do you think policies like these are effective in promoting good attendance and punctuality? Why or why not? A comment from Q Hippolyta.
As you only learned that yesterday, I don't suppose you read whether you get paid for the time that you are not there when you are late or if you have to work the time back. That's usually the mitigation for these policies.
A comment from Wardin11.
The corollary of can only have 6 absences is you get to have 6 absences. I expect a lot of people to be slick mid to late December each year.
Thanks for tuning in today. Subscribe for more intriguing Reddit stories.